And the winner of the first presidential debate of 2024 between Biden and Trump is there such a thing as a drum roll? In today's episode, and I would like to welcome everyone to the Keisha Phillips show. I'm thankful and so very grateful for all my listeners. I'm thankful for the 8,000 plus followers that I have, and I appreciate your support to the Keisha Phillips show. And I'm thankful for all my listeners that are wireless across the globe. The last time I did a check on those that have connected wireless is about 60 million. So thank you, and I appreciate each and every one of you. And as we go into today's episode, what if I decided to run for Madame President? You know, sometimes you just have to ask yourself some very important questions. And when you ask those questions and you begin to observe your surroundings, and then you realize that there's so many people that are not even on the same page. Because look at the way it's like you kind of look around and people just look like they're just flowing through life. Nobody really don't have a focus. Nobody's don't really have a blueprint of how to get to a certain point or a certain page or the path that leads to results. It's like nobody don't have the blueprint of what it's gonna take to get there. So people just go through the motions. But then what if there was a blueprint? You know, if I had to go out there right now today and say I need a campaign manager, I need somebody to be a treasurer over the funds and the money for the campaign, I need somebody to help me get on the ballot for the Democrats, I guess the Democrat states. So do that mean that you need to be on the ballot for all 50 states pertaining to the upcoming electoral votes for the president of 2024? So do you do all 50 states? Do you need to be on the ballot for all 50 states? Or do you put more of your focus on the states that you know are Democrats? Or do you try to go through all 50 states, and even though some of those states have been Republican states, but you're trying to bring them to be a Democrat instead? So do you campaign all 50 states? And then who would be a campaign manager? Who would be good with getting me on the ballots in all 50 states? So if I said I need Keisha Phillips, my name, to be on the ballot for all 50 states, then I need to be able to get to all the states that are now Republican, that's defined as Republican states. Then what would be the game plan? And then if I needed to focus on the states that are currently Democrat states, what would be the game plan? Who would be a good fit to be a treasurer? Who would be on my campaign board? My team. So if these are the things that I needed to get started. And if I just say, well, I'm not gonna do the try and error portion of it, I'm just gonna go head in and get started. So that's $5,000 that's already been contributed to the campaign. Okay, on the ballot. Now what? Now what? Now I need to get out there and start campaigning throughout the nation, throughout the United States of America. But what if I've already been doing that? Just with the Keisha Phillips show. So my name is going to be on the ballot in all 50 states. What if I had support from surrounding countries? Allies that want to be part of helping me to campaign to be president, Madam President of the United States of America. What if I had support of surrounding countries and allies? You see, people have not seen me fully dressed. You know, I'm one of these women, I put on a dress and heels and do my hair, do my makeup, and everybody suddenly now is jealous and envy. They want to hide the beauty. Steal all steal all my money. Steal my clothes. You'd be surprised at the things that I have went through, and you will wonder what is wrong with a lot of people today. It's not about dressing your ass off. It's about the jealousy and the envy that comes with dressing my ass off. And because I don't have Secret Service following me everywhere I go, then that's one of the reasons why, because I'm in the poorest state on the map, ranked almost 0 out of 50. Being in Louisiana, then you don't see me walking around dressed my ass off. Because I don't have Secret Service going with me everywhere I go, protecting me or keeping me safe. I gotta protect me and keep me safe. But the jealousy and the envy that comes with, because you put on a little makeup. I don't even make up my face like I would. The jealousy and the envy is just that surreal. So there's a lot of people that haven't seen Keisha Phillips put her best foot forward. It's been a minute now. When was the last time I had to go somewhere and I had to wear a evening gown? What was the last event that I went in that was kind of an elite business prestige establishment? And I'm thinking, let me think, when was the last time I did an event like that? I'm not talking about going to the Met Gala, because the Met Gala is a fundraiser pertaining to its art. Met Gala is an art museum, but the fundraiser is geared towards the fashion. Okay, so I'm not talking about that. But when was the last time I went to a governor's ball or anything? I haven't. So when you start talking about people that's on that in those industries, doing those type of events, those type of functions, that's what I'm saying. That's the difference. Those are the places and the type of events that I have not. So you haven't seen me with my best foot forward or dressed up immaculate and or evening gown or hair just fierce and makeup just flawed. You haven't seen that side of me because that side has been in the shell. That's what I say, the shell of the frog or the shell of the snail. You keep it hidden, or you move fast but you're moving slow because of all the jealousy and the envy. And you got people trying to pull something through that you haven't even did yet. Okay, it's amazing how people try to know things about stuff that you haven't even shared with nobody. So it makes you wonder where they get the information from. You do something and then people try to come behind you and mess it up, but yet you ain't tell them not one single thing about it. So it makes you wonder again, like where they getting the information from. So I know that I will make a great Madam President. I know that I can run this country, lead this country. I know that I can make, with the right people that's part of my national security team and part of the cabinet and things like that, that I can definitely turn this country around. Even when it comes down to things that's going on in opposing, countries. And I know in order to do that, it begins with what? The first step is getting on the ballot. I already have an EIN number. And I've been having one for, the last 4 or 5 years now? But now I need a team, a dedicated team. That would be not only great supporters, but advocates that can help me get out there and campaign. To make certain that I'm on the ballot. Or are we still living in this day, in this element? Many don't know me. But if you had the opportunity to get to know me, I was looking at something and in order to become to be able, like going different places to travel. And it wouldn't have been suitable anyway because I really need to travel local within the 50 states. Not necessarily out of the country or international. And they told me that I ain't make the cut to be a travel agent. Now I don't know what skills you need to be a travel agent. But I thought between my management skills of being a manager of a retail pharmacy, which was CVS, being a pharmacy technician, which means I got over 30 plus years of customer service experience. I work with people, I deal with people. I have excellent communication skills, verbal skills, people skills. I'm very people oriented. I'm very detail oriented. I love helping people. I love meeting new people. Yes, I want to see the day where there is no more poverty. Yes, I do want to see the day where there is no more world hunger. I do want to see the day where our military is stronger. I do want to see the day where there is no war going on, that there is peace, that peace can be restored. Is there ever going to be a victory when it comes down to what's going on today in some of these countries? I don't think so. I don't think so. But when we think about last night's debate, what was the most important thing that they said? Well, I think about healthcare. I think about the changes that needs to change when it comes down to healthcare. I think about the cost of high prescriptions. That you have some medications out there that cost so much that people can't afford to buy it. But yet they don't have a solution for how you can get it if it's something that you medically need. I think about retirement. That you have a lot of people that's out there just in this country that's way over retirement age, but yet they're still working because they can't afford to retire. I just got my 401k from a job that I got laid off from in November. And in that 401k, no, it wasn't no $50,000 that I should have received. But it should have been about $8,000. And they sent me a check for $4 and some cents. That's what I mean about how people steal your money. Just like that. And all this time I knew that the money was sitting there in that 401k, so I just didn't touch it. But yet, all of it's gone. It's things like that when you have employers that you go and you work for and you do all the things the right way. But it's companies like that company that steals your money. Or you deal with these third-party companies that steals your money. These are things that we have to change. These are things that have to stop. These are businesses that no longer need to be open. These are companies that people depend on to pay their salary, to pay their, that's what they're living off of. Because they go to work, they earn the money, they do certain things in order to have for the bigger picture in their lives. And then when they get it, when it's time to cash it out, it is time that they need it, and it's not there because these companies have stolen their money. A lot of these companies portray like they're billion-dollar industries, but guess what? They're not. They're not. That's why you have so many people today. You got over 600 million people without jobs. And there are really not no industries right now that I would say, you know what, let me recommend this industry. Let me recommend that this industry open up jobs. That's why you have so many homeless people on the streets. That's why you have so many people that's below poverty level. And that's one of the reasons why they're trying to keep you at poverty level, because those are the ones that they're stealing from. Because they know that they're going to come out there on these jobs, they're going to bust their ass, working for this little money, and then they steal your money. You'll never have a better tomorrow like that. We'll never have a better future like that. And then you take someone as myself that has a 4-year degree and a master's degree in two well-predominant industries. Shouldn't have a problem whatsoever because of the years of experience and everything else that comes with it. Being an advanced specialist does what? Because look at how this society tries to play you down. because everybody want to be better than you. But what about all these surgeons and all these doctors out there that got specialties? Ain't nobody knocking that. So why knock somebody else? You got all these people that's declared that they're billionaires. And yet when you take all their money together, it's not enough to change the things that needs to be changed. Because they're not the ones that it's going to take to change it. So therefore, nothing is what? Changing. When are we going to rise together? You hear me talk about as a nation all the time, because we supposed to be one nation under God. When we recite the Pledge of Allegiance, what are we saying? When we sing My Country, 'Tis of Thee, the Star Spangled Banner, what are we saying? Our national anthem. How many people actually take the time and listen to the words? How many people understand the meaning behind the pledge, our national anthem? How many people take oaths and understand the oaths that they're taking, the code? How many people actually live by their code, by their oaths? What are we doing, America, if none of these things matter? What are we doing if all we're doing is going through the motions? What are we doing if nothing that is being done today is going to make it a better day or a better tomorrow? Just going through the motions. So if a tsunami came through today, nobody would be surprised. And took down every building as tall as the Statue of Liberty, and nobody would be surprised. Well, that's good to know. It really is. Could you embrace a female president? Not any female. I'm talking about myself. I'm only referring to myself. Of the United States of America. I'm not talking about nothing that's going on in no other part of the world. I'm talking about this country. The United States. They make me think about, vice president. Who would I have as vice president? And then it makes me think about who would I have on my national security team? Who would be part of the cabinet? Who would be my chief of staff? When I think about that, I think about who would lead the National Intelligence Unit Agency. Who would be head of the FBI, the Federal Bureau of Investigation. I think about all these things, all these titles, all these positions. Female Commander of Chief. And I have that much confidence that I can, and I know that I can do the job. But how will we embrace that? How will we embrace that change? Because comes with that change, all the other changes will be made. And people will begin to be into the right positions, the right titles, making the right money, in the right meetings, sitting at the right tables. See, right now I sit at many tables, but it damn sure ain't the tables I should be sitting at. Not the meetings that I should be in, a part of. That's like saying I should be on the United Nations Council, and I should be, but am I there? Am I sitting in that assembly, in the General Assembly? Have I personally been and sat down with any of my allies that I've requested? No, I haven't. And that's part of the problem. That's the problem. I had to be Madam President of the United States of America. And I think about men, the available men. I think about a husband, because right now it's true, I am divorced. And needing a man by my side. It makes you wonder. Not because there's a shortage of men. Because when I start looking at my options, I got a problem. I got a problem. I have a problem when it comes to spouse. Because I can't have just anyone by my side. Because now we're talking about appearances, functions, events. Where I'm at, he's at. Even if he don't never speak a word, he's there. He's going to be in that element, in that zone, in that spotlight. Standing side by side with his wife, by his wife, through it all. So where is that man, the man that is supposed to be by my side? My husband. You know, I think about, right now I use my maiden name, which is Phillips, but then I'm like, okay, to get married again. Keisha Phillips dash what? Who is this man? Where is he? That's how I know we're not on the right page, because I'm not what? Yet remarried. And I've been talking about marriage for the last 4 years. But yet it has not yet what happened. Think about who would I have as vice president. I kind of look at that as my right hand. Who would be that person? Would that be a man or would that be a female? I think about my chief of staff, but what if it's a female? What would her name, what would that be called in? If that person in that position is a female. And then I think about my personal assistant. Is that your same as your chief of staff? Or would that be two different things? You know, all these things I have thought about, still thinking about. And how do we go about and begin to make those changes? So that I can be on this ballot for this upcoming 2024 election. I won't disappoint this country. But if we're gonna ever see change, we have to start somewhere. And the right changes have to begin to be made. When I think about the positions, the cabinet, my national security team, I think about my Secret Service team. I think about all these people. Some people I know that if I'm able, I can probably appoint into the position. But what is the standard way that you're supposed to do things? I don't want to just go and handpick a bunch of people and say, you're doing this, you're doing this, you're doing that. Now, yes, I probably can do that when it comes down to like Secret Service. Because I want to have hands-on in everything. I want to know my team and everybody that's involved. Because for me, it's going to always be about trust. Trust is first and foremost. The most important thing for me is trust. If I cannot trust a person, it doesn't matter what the title is or what position they hold, then we automatically have a problem. Because trust is the center of everything. And comes with trust, comes with respect. And those two things, you can't have one and not have the other. And to be a leader, a great leader, a leader of a country, you have to have respect, because it's that respect and that trust that's going to build the respect and trust that's needed with your allies in all these surrounding countries. This is the Keisha Phillips Show. And I am a citizen of the United States. And I am now trying to do what's necessary to get my name on the ballot to run for this upcoming election. Do we have what it takes? Is the right support there? You know, we talk about power all the time. All the time we hear people talk about power. We hear people talk about being in positions of power. And right now, if I was to get married today, would that man be a man that's in position of power? Probably not. He probably wouldn't be. You see the difference? I'm my backbone. It's not about riding off of someone else. I don't have anybody that I can ride off of. I don't have nobody holding my hand and saying I'm pulling you through. I go step by step, day by day, no matter how big or how small the steps are. Those are the steps that I take. I don't have nobody that I can pick up the phone and say, look, I'm trying to run for president, Madam President of the United States of America. I need my name on the ballot. Can you help me do this? It's not about trying to use a person because she's what? African American? Before you ever try to knock something, you need to first know what it is you're knocking. I may very well be the only one that can turn this around. I may very well be the only one that can ever get the funds, the money, in order for this nation, this world to rise. For this country to become, for the United States to be the most powerful country. It may only be me that can do that. It may be only me that can pull this country up from billionaire to trillionaire to quadrillionaire to quadrillions. We're behind. But right now we're not nowhere near ready. And there's not nothing that one single person is currently doing that can pull this country or this nation into a trillionaire. Because there's so many things that needs to be fixed the right way. Because you sure as hell will never have a trillionaire, nothing, state, nation, territory, when you still got people out there that's in poverty, world hunger, homeless people on the streets, a low income bracket. See, a lot of the changes that needs to be made are changes that's been there for decades and decades and decades. And if it had been done the right way, guess what? We'll be a whole lot closer than what we are today. Because right now, we have fallen as a country, as a nation. We are sinking. We below sea level. That's where we are. We're below sea level. There's so much. Join the conversation to the Keisha Phillips Show. Because there's so much that needs to be said. And I just can't say it. And if I was out there campaigning, would I say it then? I think it just depends on what I'm campaigning about. I know what weighs heavily on my heart. I know how I feel when it comes to abortion. I'm pro-choice. Women should have the right to make decisions when it's pertaining to their bodies. If they're over the age of 21. I know how I feel about gun control. You should have the right to carry a firearm. But we do need stricter gun control laws. No, you shouldn't be a homeowner and be able to go out there and purchase an AK-15. But you shouldn't be 18 years of age and be able to go purchase one either. Certain weapons, certain guns should only be able to be purchased by certain people. Yes, you should have the right to carry a firearm, but it should be certain firearms. So yes, a lot should change. A lot needs to change. But a lot needs to also change when it comes down to our law enforcement, to those in uniforms, to how they go out there and they treat citizens, civilians. Because some of the things that they do can't be condoned either. We've all seen it on social media, how a police officer will brag about how they just did a human being. On my watch, they will automatically be terminated. Automatically. I'm Keisha. And you've been listening to the Keisha Phillips Show.